Corn is one of the most popular foods in the world. Each year, more than 1 billion tons of corn are harvested. Corn cobs go through a long process to become corn kernels. But how to produce more than 150,000 tons of canned corn each year? It all starts in the field with planting. Harvesting sweet corn begins with careful planning. Farmers choose the appropriate time to harvest corn based on the corn variety and weather conditions. Canned corn is harvested from mid-August to mid-October. Canning happens very quickly, in less than 4 hours from harvest to canned corn. Farmers use specialized machinery to harvest sweet corn. A corn harvester with cutting blades adjusted to the appropriate height to cut corn cobs from the stalk. The corn cob is carefully cut from the plant. It is important to cut it neatly to avoid damaging the kernels and to ensure the cob remains intact. After harvesting and sorting, corn cobs are transported to the processing factory. The corn is transported quickly to the factory. Freshness is important to maintain the quality of the final product. Plants are often located close to growing areas to reduce transportation time and preserve the freshness of the corn, which maintains much of the nutritional value of the product that will be sold. The process begins when fresh corn arrives at the factory. The freshness and quality of the corn at this time is important to achieve a high-quality final product. Trucks dump piles of corn into the plant, and then machines push the corn onto a conveyor belt. Corn cobs are visually inspected during this stage, with workers inspecting the cobs to ensure they meet established quality standards. After inspection, the corn is prepared for the husking and canning process. First, they must pass through a grain separator equipped with multiple counter-rotating shafts to produce large quantities. Specialized grain separators are designed to separate grains efficiently and evenly. The corn kernels are separated from the cob as they pass through the machine, where blades separate the kernels in a split second. Each unit separates more than a ton of grain per hour. Twice daily, machines are stopped to inspect, clean, and sharpen the blades. The corn kernels enter this rotating drum that removes any portion larger than the corn kernel itself. Nothing is wasted in the process. Leftovers, such as leaves and corn cobs, are used as animal feed. The corn kernels then fall into a mixture of water and liquid obtained from cutting the corn kernels, which allows the corn kernels to be transported without damage. Next, the corn grains flow along the conveyor belt like a golden river. This selection is important to ensure only the highest quality corn kernels make it to the next step of the process. After separating, cleaning, and sorting, the next step is blanching the corn kernels. Blanching involves soaking corn kernels in boiling water for a short period of time. The main goal of blanching is to deactivate the natural enzymes found in corn, which can cause deterioration of the corn's color, flavor, and texture over time, especially during storage. Blanching is done in this large cylinder. A screw raises the blanched corn kernels to the surface. A visual inspection verifies the quality of the corn kernels. The blanching process usually lasts about 4 to 5 minutes. During this time, the corn kernels are soaked in boiling water. which helps prevent the activity of enzymes and fix the color and texture. Precise control of blanching time and temperature is important to avoid overcooking the corn kernels. After blanching, the corn kernels are immediately removed from the boiling water and soaked in cold water. This filling machine can process from 3 to 450 cans per minute. The beads that fall off the sides are collected later in the cylinder and returned to the filling line. Corn kernels are put into the can, filled to a predetermined level. It is important to leave some space in the upper part of the can, called the head space, to allow for expansion of the liquid and grain in heat treatment and storage. After filling the can with corn kernels, packing liquid is added. Tests are performed in this laboratory to ensure product quality. Airtight sealing is extremely important to prevent bacteria from entering and ensure the safety and quality of canned products. The cans are placed into a sealing machine, which applies pressure and heat to the lid. Heat ensures a tight seal. The pressure generated by the machine compresses tightly around the rim of the can, creating an effective barrier against the entry of air, moisture, and microorganisms. This sterilizes the cans, keeping the corn fresh for years. After completing the sterilization process, the cans are removed from the autoclave and gradually cooled. Cooling is an important stage to prevent overcooking the corn and ensure that the can is not damaged by sudden changes in temperature. The cans of sweet corn at this stage are ready to be labeled. The labels contain important information such as production date, expiration date, ingredients, nutritional value, and batch code. Once labeled, the cans are packed into boxes. Boxes of canned corn are ready to be stored in facilities with controlled temperature and humidity conditions. From there, they are distributed to stores and supermarkets. If you want to know how to make canned sardines, you have the link in the description and in the first comment. Every year, about 100 billion packages of instant noodles are consumed worldwide, equivalent to nearly 13 packages for every person on the planet. But how does flour become a hot, delicious bowl of noodles? Explore the fascinating world behind your favorite instant noodles. Have you ever wondered when enjoying a warm bowl of instant noodles, how they got to you? In fact, that simple block of noodles is the result of a magical production process. At instant noodle factories, a perfect coordination between modern machinery and manual skills takes place to create the fast and delicious food you love. This quick and convenient dish, which turns a block of dry noodles into a cozy bowl of soup in just a few minutes, has been recognized as the greatest Japanese invention of the 20th century. No wonder it has saved the hunger of many students and busy people when time is tight. It all starts with the main ingredient, flour. Flour is fed into large industrial mixers that work non-stop, processing tons of flour every day. The flour is mixed with water and salt, creating a flexible and durable mixture, necessary for the future noodles. This is a carefully calibrated process. Proper moisture balance is critical for the noodles to retain their shape and texture after cooking. When the dough reaches perfection, it is passed through a series of rollers, pressing it thin until it reaches the desired thinness. The dough may initially be thicker than your arm, but eventually it becomes a sheet thinner than rice paper. This process not only determines the final thickness of the noodles, but also contributes to the noodle's unique texture. The rolling process helps develop the gluten in the dough, giving the noodles their characteristic elasticity. Once it becomes thin sheets, the dough is transferred to cutting machines, where it is cut into noodles. Although this process seems simple, it is a turning point in instant noodle production. This is where the length and width of the noodles are determined. Each cutter is equipped with an adjustable blade to create noodles of different shapes and sizes, from thin noodles for ramen soup to wide, flat noodles for pasta. After cutting, the noodles are not yet ready to make soup. The noodles are separated and collected on trays or conveyor belts. At this stage, a coating of starch or talcum powder can be applied to the noodles to prevent them from sticking together. In fact, the noodles are still too moist and soft to be stored for long. To solve this problem, the noodles are put through a steaming process, where they are steamed at high temperatures, which helps develop the final flavor and texture. temperature and pre-cooking time may vary depending on the manufacturer and the type of instant noodles being produced. After pre-cooking, the noodles are rinsed with cold water to stop the cooking process and reduce the temperature. This helps maintain the proper texture of the noodles and prevents them from becoming too soft. Once the noodles have been washed and cooled, they are drained to remove excess moisture. The noodles are then dried to remove remaining moisture. During the drying process, temperature and time are carefully controlled to avoid overheating or insufficient drying of the noodles. The result is a familiar and neat mass of dry noodles, ready to be reborn with just a little hot water. Part of the fun of this process is forming the noodle blocks. After steaming and frying, the noodles are placed into molds to create the typical square or round shape of instant noodles that we know. But what happens after the noodles are dried and ready for packaging? The answer lies in the seasoning and broth packets, which give each bowl of instant noodles its unique flavor and personality. While the basic noodle block is the same in each brand, the broth and seasonings are what make each package different. The broth of instant noodles can be very diverse, from classic chicken broth to rich, spicy broth. Each broth is prepared individually in large pots that can hold thousands of liters of soup at a time. Once the broth and seasonings are ready, it's time to pack them with the noodles. Noodle blocks, powdered broth, and dry spices are placed together in individual packages. This not only keeps all the ingredients together, but also ensures the freshness of the ingredients. Once packaged, the noodles are ready to be sent to stores around the world, waiting for the moment someone adds hot water, bringing them back to life. The packaging design of instant noodles is not only beautiful, but also very convenient. The inner layer of aluminum foil keeps the noodles fresh and protects them from light, moisture, and microorganisms. Some packaging is designed to serve as a temporary bowl, allowing you to prepare and enjoy the noodles right out of the packaging. To ensure each package of instant noodles reaches you in perfect condition, companies carry out strict quality checks. However, despite their convenience and popularity, instant noodles have also been criticized for their high sodium and trans fat content. Please like the video if you find it interesting and share it with others who may be interested. Also, subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications to keep learning. Goodbye.